interviewed with the Broncos last week for their defensive coordinator position. According to reports, he's become a top candidate for the position. Ryan has not coached since he was the Bills head coach in 2016. Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impactful would Rex Ryan be?
10. Sexy Rex, he can flat out coach defense, Skip. I love him. I was with him for 2 years in Baltimore. He was the D-line coach when I was there. Rex was the D-line coach. Jack Del Rio was the linebackers coach, and Marvin Lewis was the DC.
Yeah.
So you can see that. And Mike Smith was also on that staff, who later became a head coach. So you can tell. But Skip, I love him. He has a great personality. He can coach defense. He gets that. He's a chip off the old block from his dad. His dad can coach defense. He's very exotic. We know what he did with the Jets. His team went on the road, and they almost got to the Super Bowl, Skip, with a colleague of ours here, Mark Sanchez, and they did the demolition job. They went to Indy, beat Indy. They went to New England, beat New England, and they came up a little short against the Steelers.
They did.
But he can flat out coach defense, and with the pieces that they already have in Denver, Skip, there's no question in my mind it would be a great addition. I'm going to give it a 10. So with Rex Ryan calling the man in the defense, and Sean Payton, if he can get Russ to back 80% of what he once was, the Broncos are going to be in business. But they're going to need it because you still got Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes to deal with, and you got Justin Herbert to deal with the Chargers. So you got to have
and Kellen Moore.
And Kellen Moore. So you got to have a defense, Skip, that can slow these guys down.
Do.
But you're not going to stop them. You're going to have to somehow find on your offense, that's Sean Payton, to put points on the board because you're not holding Kansas City to 13. It ain't going to be no 17-13 ball game, Skip.
No, agreed. Scale of 1 to 10 and impact, I believe Rex Ryan would be a 20 in Denver. Shannon Sharp, I tell you that sometimes I hear something, breaking news, I glance at the internet, whatever, look at my phone, and I see Rex Ryan to Denver, and that moment, that point of contact with my psyche, I thought, bingo, home run, that will work. Perfect move for the Denver Broncos. I believe that Rex Ryan, if he takes the job, will become the Denver antidote to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Right.
Because obviously Sean Payton is right up there, rivals Andy as a play caller and an offensive strategist and offensive mind.
Right.
And I believe that Rex can be the equivalent of Sean on defense because Sean is all about the offense.
Right.
Rex is all about the defense.
He can coach it.
And as I often said back in my days on First Take, I thought through that stretch of being the Ravens defensive coordinator 05 to 08 and then the Jets head coach thereafter, I thought through that stretch, I thought he even eclipsed Bill Belichick as a defensive mind because the things he kept pulling off with strategy, I would sit back and say, that is genius.
Yeah.
Like you sit, chip off the father's block because some of the schemes he came up with, he made Brady's life as hard as anybody ever has. He made Peyton's life pretty hard.
Now, he did have 3 Hall of Famers. He had Suggs on the front end, he had Ray in the middle, and then he got
that's in Baltimore, but then he got to the Jets.
And he was, woo.
And it was a masterpiece what he pulled off in that divisional round game at Foxborough in 2010.
Straight man cover, you that Crow, Revis, lock him down, we coming.
Lock him down, and they came after Brady, and they got him 5 times. They sacked Tom Brady.
They did.
He had a QBR that evening of 16. Tom Brady had a 16. Mark Sanchez, our very own Mark Sanchez, had a 92 QBR in that game. So he dramatically outplayed Tom Brady because Tom was up against and thwarted by Rex Ryan's defense.
Yes.
So what a beautiful coupling of Sean Payton and Rex Ryan. Now you're back in business. Now you've got something because, as you know, the defensive cupboard is the one that's not bare at all. You don't have a Russell Wilson problem on defense. It's just on offense.
And I think because the offense was so inadequate, I think they put the defense in harm's way. I think the defense is much better even than the numbers would indicate. But because the offense was so inept, it's a lot of stress on your defense when they have to play as many snaps as they were playing. They allowed the second most red zone scores this season. They were tied for 23rd in sacks, tied for 14th in takeaways. I believe Rex Ryan would do a lot better job, and they're not going to be second worst in red zone scores. They're not going to be 23rd in sacks. I like the hire. If they were to hire him, I definitely think Rex could turn this thing around.
Okay. Rex has a very good job at ESPN. And he has done very well in said job.
Yes.
But I think said job will be there if he wants to go back.
You can always go back, yeah.
And by the way, there's no salary cap on what you can pay your coaches.
Right.
So what do you call them? The Walton Penner family?
Yes. They got it.
They got pretty deep pockets, right? They got the deepest pockets, right?
They don't even wear pants. They ain't got no pockets.
They got no pockets.
Their money, they hit it bottomless.
So that they can make Rex and Sean rich men. They can pay them what they're worth. Okay?
Exactly,
right?
Skip. They like when you go to the brunch and you hear bottomless mimosas, they got bottomless money.
They do.
And so I think it'll be a great hire. Rob, Rex's twin brother, worked for Sean a number of years when he was in New Orleans. I think for 1 year he was the DC.
He was, yep.
So Rex has never worked with Sean directly, but clearly they know each other. So I think it'd be a match made in football heaven for me. And I would love to see Rex in that blue and orange on the sideline manning that defense because I think they can be something really, really good this year.
So all of a sudden, maybe the playing field levels between Denver and Kansas City, or for that matter, Denver and Chargers and Oakland. I keep saying
LA.
For LA, yeah.
But Skip, at the end of the day, you know what it comes. Skip, you know what it comes down to. Skip, your quarterback. Your quarterback gonna have to make some plays.
But if there's ever a defensive mind that can thwart a quarterback, it's this guy.
Yeah.
And Belichick's been great at it too. But this guy has shown a propensity for the greater the quarterback, the better the strategy I'll come up with.
All those, Coach Belichick might, because Skip, he scores like 34, 37 points every time he goes. Patrick Mahomes did every time he goes against. Because remember, they lost, 40-37 the first time, and then they beat him, they lost, they ended up getting a touchdown in overtime, but he gets high 30s. So Coach Belichick's like, I don't really want to see Patrick Mahomes. No. He definitely don't want to see him now that he doesn't have Tom Brady.
Yeah, no, I got it. Well, congratulations to you and Andy and Patrick. Here they come.
Yeah, Bronco, baby.
Yeah.
If Rex ends up in Denver, guys, that coaching staff is going to be supercharged with strong personalities. Ooh. That is going to be interesting to watch. All right. Let's move on to the association, gentlemen. Do you think the Dallas Mavericks can count on Kyrie when the moment's the biggest, when it matters the most? Let's debate up next.